Hello and welcome to the Canvas navigation video. Canvas can be a little confusing as each professor has the ability to set up their course differently. This video will teach you how to navigate Professor Pack's MCom 320 course on Canvas. My first tip is to think of Canvas as a house. In a house, you're unable to walk from one room to another without going through the hallway first. This too is true with Canvas. You're unable to pop from one page to the other without going through the main navigation first. Okay, so before you start anything, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have a few essential Canvas account settings. First, please include a picture of yourself to help others get to know you better. To do this, go to Account on the left-hand side, Profile, and you're able to upload a picture here by clicking on the pencil. Second, we want to check our time zone. To do this, we go to Settings, Edit Settings over on the right-hand side, and the time zone is right here. All the deadlines for this course are set to the Mountain Time Zone, but if you let Canvas know which time zone you're in, it will automatically adjust deadlines for you. So third, we want to check our email. We stay on Settings, and over here on the right-hand side, we see the ways to connect. As you can see, I have 2 email addresses attached to my Canvas course right now, but you just want to make sure that your email address is correct and it's the one that you want. And then finally, we want to check our notification settings. So we go over here to Notifications, and then we scroll down and make sure the settings are how we want them. So there are a lot of settings right here, and I know it can be a little bit overwhelming, but we have 4 main things that we want to direct you towards. So for the announcements, we want to set it as notify me right away. For the discussion posts, maybe a daily summary or notify me right away. And then you want to be added to the conversation, notify me right away, and also the conversation message. This is a great way to keep up with the course and with Professor Pack's announcements. Also, I forgot to add these little icons. There's a key up here at the top to know what they mean. This is MCom 320 homepage. This is what you will see every time you select the MCom course on your Canvas dashboard. The first thing to notice in the homepage is the announcement section at the top. There are no announcements yet, but this will update automatically as the semester begins. Make sure to check this section often to keep up to date with important course announcements and reminders. However, please note that this section will only display the 2 most recent announcements. If you would like to see a list of all of the course announcements, you need to click on the Announcements tab at the left-hand side navigation. Then going back to the homepage. Next to point out are the important links that will take you to essential course pages. These are these 4 right here. So they're modules, syllabus, the big 5 assignments, and assignment resources. I will go over these pages in more detail later. Underneath these pages are the individual links to each week for the course. To begin each week, simply click on the title for that week. And going back to home. I would like to point out this Getting Started section. Please make sure to carefully read through the Getting Started page before beginning the course. Make sure to become familiar with the material in this page as it contains valuable course information that will enable you to do well in this class. Let's click on it and go through it together. So this page is divided up by Professor Pack's 4 main goals. Number 1, create connections. This section has all of the communication tools for the course. Number 2, manage expectations. This is where you can find out what is expected of you in this course. Number 3, teach concepts. This section highlights the course materials to help you learn from the concepts of MCom 320. And down at the bottom, number 4, assess learning. This section highlights each aspect of the course to include class activities, assignments, learning assessments, and the Big 5 assignments. At the very bottom, there's a representation of the weight of each aspect of the course. This Getting Started page is a great resource for you to refer back to at any time during the course. Let's go back to the home page to continue navigating. So at the right-hand side of the homepage, each student has a personalized to-do list. This will update automatically as you continue to complete assignments throughout the course. Now going over to the left-hand side then, let's go through this navigation bar together. So we already covered Home and the Announcement tab. This next tab, the Modules tab, is probably the most important one you'll use throughout the course. Let's go through this in more detail. First, you'll want to go through this before you start section. This section contains valuable information for the course. You can refer back to it at any time. Please note that the Getting Started page that we saw earlier is right here. Next is the Big 5 assignments page. This page includes a description of the 5 main assignments that you'll complete for the semester. Let's click on it and take a look. The Big 5 assignments are color-coded to help you easily recognize them throughout the course. The grammar exam is identified with the green book, the employment portfolio is red, the business article is yellow, the team project is blue, and the departmental final is orange. Refer back to this page at any time to find the objectives, the breakdown, and some student samples of the assignments. Now let's get back to the module view. This process of going back and forth with the module view is something you'll become very familiar with. Okay, so each week is set up as an individual module. Every week you will complete 4 main sections, which also have icons to help you easily navigate. Assimilation is represented with an apple to make you think of a teacher. Here you'll find the weekly overview, the reading and lecture videos, and the to-do lists and walkthrough videos. The activities are represented with a puzzle piece to help you remember that your participation is an essential piece of the puzzle. There are also different types of activities. The magnifying glass icon represents when you're exploring. The cell phone represents a Slack discussion. Anytime there is a discussion, those who not only make comments but also respond to other people's comments will get a 3 for that activity. The speech bubble represents the Canvas discussion board. Participation and interaction are also required here. The thermometer is when we are gauging where you're at in the course. Usually this is your opportunity to check in and see how you're doing so far, or to give us feedback on how we are doing. We are new to online instruction, so we welcome any feedback you may have. Finally, the play button represents when we are asking you to watch a video, then we usually ask you to discuss it. The assignment section are represented by a stack of books. Each assignment has a book the same color as one of the Big 5. So as you can see, this green book means that it is related to the grammar exam. And finally, the assessments. These are represented by a stopwatch. Learning assessments are open book, but they are timed. You'll want to make sure that you understand the material before you begin the learning assessment. So the easiest way to navigate through the modules is by clicking on the very top by the weekly overview. Follow the instructions and then click Next. By clicking Next on every page, you'll be able to navigate through the course and you won't miss any important information. Make sure to watch Professor Pak's walkthrough videos. These videos offer tips and clues that will save you time in the long run and help you to do better on the learning assessment too. Each walkthrough video has a button at the end that will take you back to the to-do list if you happen to be watching it on the Loom website. If you need to get back to the modules, you just simply click Modules again, and you'll pick up where you left off. Once you've finished a week or a module, you're able to click the grey bar and it will hide it. So for example, if I was finished with week 1, I can click in this grey bar and it will hide it. Then the next time you come on, you'll be ready to start week 2. Next on the left-hand navigation is the Grades tab. This is where you'll be able to see how you're doing in the course. Please note that on the right-hand side, over here, you will be able to see the weighted breakdown of each aspect of the course. But please remember that Professor Pack values participation and collaboration more than your ability to get perfect scores in assignments. At the end of the course, she looks for patterns and trends to determine the grade that you've earned. If you've shown valuable soft skills, like exceptional class participation, she is known to give a higher grade than what the points reflect. Conversely, a student who does not show emotional intelligence or an ability to work well with others will find their grade might be lower than the points indicate. So next is the syllabus. The syllabus is set up like an FAQ page. If you go over here to Syllabus Navigation tab on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see a list of all the questions. You can also see these questions right here. Simply just click on the question and you'll be able to see that section in the page. There are also these buttons back to top that'll take you right to the top of the page again. The syllabus is a great resource for finding out specific details of Professor Pack's course. However, if you can't find the answer you're looking for, ask it on Slack and another student might be able to help. Professor Pack and I will check Slack each day to answer any unanswered questions. So next in the navigation bar is the textbook. For this course, you will have an online textbook. When you click in this tab, it will ask you to open the textbook in a new tab. When you watch Professor Pack's lecture videos, you'll find that sometimes she teaches a concept differently than what is here in this textbook. Or maybe it's not even in the textbook at all. To do well on the learning assessments, you want to be familiar with this textbook and also Professor Pack's lectures. Going back to Canvas. Next is the Grammar Resources page. Professor Pack has curated lots of resources to help you with your grammar. If you're struggling with the practice exam or the pyramid quizzes, I recommend watching Professor Pack take the practice quizzes here. As she answers the questions, she offers tips and tricks to help you do better on the grammar exam. She also gives additional insights that you won't find anywhere else. Remember that all assignments are graded for grammar. Next is the Assignments Resources page. This page is meant to help you complete the assignments and learning assessments. You'll especially find this helpful when you take the departmental final exam. Here you'll find a summary of what each chapter teaches, as well as an additional resources and examples. Remember that these samples are not necessarily an A, but they serve as a good guide for how a finished assignment will look. Look for better ways to do better than the samples provided. Next is the Secure Exam Proctor. This is a built-in Canvas resource that will help you set up Proctorio for when you're taking the grammar exam. Remember that Professor Pack likes to bring your grammar guide with you to the exam, so if you get flagged for having notes in your scratch paper, she'll just ignore it. Next is the Google Drive tab. It is not working while in student view. So let me just leave student view and show you how it will look. So once the semester begins, you will all be given access to the MCom 320 Google Drive folder. Here you'll be able to access the slide decks and other important course materials. If this option doesn't work for you, please reach out to me and I'll make sure to fix this issue for you. So the next thing I'd like to show you is the calendar. You'll find it over here on the very far left-hand side. So most students like to bookmark their calendar because it combines all the courses you're taking. Professor Pack is aware of this and she wants to have as much on the calendar as possible. Unfortunately, Canvas does not let us change the order the events appear in. This could become a problem since some activities in this course build upon each other. For example, you will want to take the grammar pre-test first since your score will determine whether or not you have to watch the BYU MCom videos or not. If you only use the calendar to find out what you need to do in this class, you might miss some crucial steps or waste time doing them out of order. I would personally recommend sticking to the module option as you cannot go wrong. If you click next on each page in the module view, you will not miss a thing. However, the calendar is the easiest way to meet with Professor Pack and me. Each week we will block out a time that when we are available to meet with you on Zoom. To reserve a time slot, click on Find Appointment, select your course, and then the available times will pop up. Once you find a time that works for you, click on it. Write any comments that you want, and then click Reserve. This is the Zoom link that you will use to meet with Professor Pack. When you go to Zoom, you'll be put in a waiting room to preserve each student's privacy. Keep in mind that Professor Pack will want you to put your camera on when you meet with her. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to show you is how to use the inbox. It doesn't show up in student view, so I've taken it on instructor view. And you can find the inbox over here underneath calendar. So the inbox is split into two panels. On the left, you can see your messages displayed chronologically. These are obviously messages that I have from my own classes. Yours will obviously be personal to you. And then on the right-hand side, you're able to view this message and reply to the conversation with this little arrow. So Professor Pack will be communicating with you through Canvas, so this is an important tool. Please note that the email address that you have attached to Canvas is the one that is used for this Canvas inbox. Make sure to turn on your notifications like I showed you earlier, so then you will not miss any important communication from Professor Pack. Okay, so this concludes the navigation video for the MCom 320 course with Professor Pack. If you have any specific questions about navigating Canvas or any specific questions about the course, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and I can help you out. Here's my email and feel free to reach out to me anytime. Good luck on the course, everybody.